creamy, eggy, porky, rich, cheesy. It's all the things. Carbonara, one of the classic core 4 Roman pastas. You know it, you love it. It's bacon, egg, and cheese in pasta form. Skip your trip to the bodega. It's carbonara time. Today, I'm going to show you to make a perfectly silky carbonara, no scrambled eggs here, using a double boiler zabaglione technique that I picked up from Chef Sasha Marx in Rome. It's the carbonara that you want to make without any risk of making your breakfast pasta into a breakfast scramble. Let's get into it. Carbonara, arguably the most famous of the core 4 Roman pastas. The core ingredients, very simple. Guanciale, cured pork gel. When you're buying one, look for one with skin on, and it should be peppered on all the meat side. And you can see you've got this equal distribution of fat to meat. Italians generally look to trim off this yellowish fat around the edges, just because it's got a little more cure on it. Doesn't cook up or taste as good. First things first, you just want to remove the skin, and then this pepper layer here. What we're looking for is this more rosy stuff in the center. Come across, make planks for carbonara for 4 people, half a pound, 225 grams or so. We're gonna get it rendering medium-low heat. I don't add any other fat to the pan. As you can see, guanciale is plenty of fat as is. Just take it slow enough that you're not gonna scorch the fat. Always get your pasta water going. We've got 2.5 liters of water. It's great to have it, ready when you need it. For the eggs, for 4 people, I would have 1 yolk per person and then 1 white. So separate the eggs, give your hands a rinse, and then start whisking these up. And we have Parmigiano and Pecorino Romano, split 50-50. And we're just looking to make this nice little crema, little cream. This technique that I'm employing is an homage to Sara Ciccolini's carbonara at Santo Palato. It's a fantastic, more modern trattoria in Rome. Sara's an amazing chef, and her carbonara is one of my favorites. And we'll take a little bit of cracked pepper. You really want to get it super homogeneous, super fluffy. So this we can let hang out. We're just waiting for the guanciale to finish crisping. At medium heat like this, 15 minutes or so. Guanciale is rendered, as you can see. You got nice crispy browning, and then these little morsels of pleasantly chewy fat. This is how I like it. I think it's the best representation of the texture of guanciale. So get the guanciale out. We'll come back to that later. Now you've got this nice rendered fat in the pan, a little freshly cracked black pepper, and then bloom it in the fat. And then we're gonna steal a little bit of that fat and add it to our yolk mixture. And that's helping to bring up the temperature of the egg yolk mixture. It starts to lighten it up a little bit. So you can just let this fat hang out. For blooming, you're looking for these little micro bubbles. They'll come up in the fat as the pepper's toasting. Once you've coaxed flavor out of it, you can just kill the heat on this. Now we start the dance of a two-level cook in one pot. It's like bunk bed cooking. So you need a heat-proof bowl that can fit nicely into your pot. You need a pot with a wide enough base to fit the spaghettoni without breaking them. You never want to break pasta. And then you want the water level to be low enough that as you go over the pot with your bowl, you're not having the bottom of the bowl sitting in boiling water. So just being slightly elevated above it. In terms of salting, a nice little pinch. And then we can go right in with our spaghettoni. So long as you agitate the pasta when it first goes in, that's really the critical point to make sure that it doesn't stick together. We are gonna be cooking 10, 11 minutes before I'll go over to here, which is the perfect amount of time to also get our sabayon up to temp. And at this point, I feel like I'm in a good spot of not being too concerned about it sticking. So we can come onto the pot with our sabayon. You're whisking and you're coming on and off heat, making sure that you're not scrambling the eggs. The thing to watch out for is there'll be a thinner layer of the egg mixture on the sides. You've got more depth at the bottom. So coming off heat, using a rubber spat to scrape down the sides, get it back into the mass at the bottom of the bowl, and then you're just playing this dance, on, off, on, off. As you go, you'll see the mixture begin to thicken and ribbon. You don't really have to worry about temping this so much because it's not like we're gonna be just serving this as is. If you want to temp this, the sort of top target temp that we would be going for is 145 Fahrenheit, which I believe is 65 C. Nick, you're the Celsius person.
62.
62, ah. Start the video over, ruined it. And I'm the one that grew up in Europe where Celsius is king. So again, coming off, scraping down, coming off, scraping down. You can see it sort of turn into this more pudding-like consistency. So we're getting to that nice spot. It's sticking. You can put your finger through it. Let the thing out off to the side. We'll get this warming back up. Pasta, well shy of al dente, how we like it. The key with these long pastas is that you need to make sure they're softened enough that they won't break in the transition move. Get a big ladle full of pasta water into that pan and begin moving the pasta over. I don't ever see the need of, going the colander route because you want to have as much available to you as possible for finishing the sauce. It's just sort of the safety blanket of I can always loosen the sauce back up. And we're going into mantecatura. Mantecare means to emulsify. You are stirring, tossing, mixing, letting the starchy pasta water boil down, reduce, and creating this glossy glaze for the pasta, if you will. The nice thing too about this mantecatura step is that it slows down the cooking of the pasta, so you're not in this super tight window of like going from perfectly cooked to overcooked. You see that the pepper begins to really coat and stick, which is what we're going for. To me, I'm where I want to be. And add the guanciale in. I never put the guanciale onto paper towels or something to drain or anything. I want that fat. And this is really getting glossy and beautiful. I'll add one little last splash of pasta water. The reason being, you want it to be loose enough that once you add the egg yolk mixture, it doesn't tighten up too much right away. We are at the final step here. Come off heat, scrape that egg mixture in, get all of it in there. And then we just mix. You can see as it goes in, it's initial tightening and then it'll begin to loosen up a little bit. It's not scrambling, it's creamy, it's coating the pasta. It looks pretty dang good to me. And now is this dance of adjusting with the pasta water. You're not looking for the pasta to be swimming in sauce. You want it to dress, not drown the pasta. But having it a little looser at this point is good because you have to also factor in that it's going to tighten up further as it goes from pan to plate to table. You don't want it to arrive at the table and be super set up. So, you want to move relatively quickly. So, hot food, hot plates. We'll finish with black pepper in the plate up, but you can always add a little more at this stage too. It's one of those pastas that I can't eat it all that often, but When you're in the mood for a carbonara, it really hits. A little goes a long way. So to me, there's an 8-ounce ladle. That's like a nice portion of pasta. And then we can go with finishing with this little cremetta and the guanciale. I don't want a pool of sauce here. To finish, pecorino and black pepper. And that is a very nice portion of carbonara for me. Let me finish this plate of carbonara. Eccoci qua. Tim, you want some carbonara? I remember your egg yolk sauce and treat yourself carbonara.
I don't know.
No, I mean, it was cool.
I can only imagine the judgment thing.
No, there was no judgment. I was
around
fine.
that.
Do you like carbonara?
I do.
Okay, cool. Get the perfect swirl.
Wow.
Good wow? Good
Yeah,
wow? Okay, good wow.
The egg yolks bring a lot of richness to it in, in a greater way than like cacio and pepe, which is just creamy. This is just like heavier,
Yeah.
but really delicious. Like subtle umami from the yolks for sure.
Yeah.
And it all works together.
And I like having this sort of a bit of a higher proportion of cheese than you see in some recipes where, it's all egg. To me, I like having still that salinity from the pecorino. You really need a good amount of pepper. That's, to me, the only balancing ingredient to cut through all of the richness and fat. This carbonara recipe, we have the rest of the core 4 Roman pastas and plenty of pasta technique and tips and all of the good stuff for making great pasta at home. All that stuff on ChefSteps. Check it out. Ciao. The slow drip of time.
Subscribe to our channel and visit chefsteps.com for more tips, recipes, guides, and tools to help you level up in the kitchen.